Hello everyone, with a pleasant morning, I welcome you on your video lecture class. Student, in your English literature book, we have completed our two chapters. The first one was Clothes Line and the second one was The Beauty of Difference. These two chapters were completely completed. I hope so that you have got the written notes of this one, the question answer and the exercises related to this chapter. So in English literature book we will start third chapter, that is the new term and new topic for you. So first we will discuss what is it in real sense, what's the meaning of it and in which sense it is used. So the class is for 9th ICSE board and in your syllabus this chapter is prescribed. So we will see that the word, the topic that is written over here, you can see that the topic and its pronunciation, it's a Japanese word, it's a Japanese term and philosophy. So it means mutanai. It's the pronunciation mutanai. Fine. So it is used for the basis of some environmental values, and it is used for saving the wastage of the things that we used to waste in our day-to-day life. So it is a philosophy, it's the term of the Japanese that the Japanese people do because they always wanted to save the things, they didn't want to waste the things, and they didn't believe in buying new things, purchasing new things. They always try to use the old one. They always wanted to recycle the things. They always wanted to reuse the things. So students, you know that the Indian people are not like this. Indian people always try to waste the thing. They always leave the things into the dustbin after using that thing because they don't want to utilize those things. Just like a live example of for you that whenever we eat something, whenever we are having some eatable items, so it's a habit of the Indian people that we used to leave some particle of the eatable items. Fine. So why we leave that? Because it's in our habit. We don't want to recycle that thing. We don't want to recycle that particle. In the same way, whenever we are using any pen or pencil, so after using that, we just throw that thing into the dustbin, and we don't want to utilize that thing again. We just don't want to reuse that thing. Fine. So this is the philosophy of the Indian people, because Indian people don't want to reuse the thing, don't want to recycle the thing, and we can see that they don't have respect for the thing that have been wasted. Fine. But the philosophy, the Japanese philosophy was that mutanai. It means that we have to respect that thing. 4 R's are there, that is written over here. Mutanai, this is the Japanese philosophy and Japanese word, and it means 4 R are there. You can see written over diagram. Reduce. Fine. So you have to reduce the wastage of the thing and reuse. We try to reuse the thing, and we must have respect for all the things and recycle, and we should have a habit in making the things again by our trick, by our strategy, like this. So student, you are seeing that mutanai means a word. It's a really very important word. Whenever we give respect to our environmental values, whenever we give respect to moral values and all over the things that are presented in the word, we just want to reduce the wastage of all these things, and if they are wasted, we just try to reuse those things, because these things are not wasted in the real sense. If we want want to use them, we can use, but this is up to us. In which way we want to use them, in which way we can make them creative, in which way we can make them meaningful and utilize thing. Fine. So you are seeing this one. So let's start our text. So you are seeing there are two pictures are here. You can see them. In the first picture, a mother and son. Mother is eating something, and in the second picture, mother and son, they both are. Son is rushing at the time, and mother is holding his shoulder, and tap is opening because water is getting wasted at that time. Fine. And the third picture, you have to frame which type of the wasteful thing that we do in our day-to-day life, just like when we are using any paper, and after writing something, we just throw that paper into the dustbin. We didn't want to use them again. Like this, you can also draw the picture here. And Mochanae for Swachh Bharat. It's a slogan. It's a campaign for the Swachh Bharat. And Mochanae can we save the planet with ancient Japanese philosophy. So it's the ancient Japanese philosophy. So can we follow that philosophy? Can we follow the custom and the tradition that was going on in Japanese philosophy? Can we follow? Can we adapt that thing in our philosophy? So can we do that thing in our philosophy? The spirit of Mochanae, fight against pollution and regain cleaner and greener environment. So if we follow this philosophy, if we follow this term in India, so the campaign Swachh Bharat Abhiyan can move properly, can run very properly if we follow these things, and we can also regain cleaner, and our environment will be cleaned, and there will be greenery everywhere, and we can also save our environment. Fine. So after this, some words are written overwhelming. Overwhelming is written. Ditch, fatal, landfills, leach, segregating, and repurposing accessories. So these words are written over. You have to find the meaning of these words. And student, you are seeing that this is very important for you, because you people are the father of this nation. You are the future of this nation. So you have to start this thing, Mochanae. This one is very important. And the following is a part of an online post explaining Mochanae. Read the following better understanding. So I hope so that you have got it. So let's read it. Mochanae is a Japanese word that plainly means wasteful. It means that plainly, if we find out the plain meaning of this one, its meaning is wasteful. It is used to express disappointment at the wasteful action. So this particular philosophy is used to regret over the wasteful thing, the thing that we waste in our day-to-day life, the thing that we throw into the dustbin after using them in our day-to-day life. So it is a matter of disappointment. It's a matter of regret. It's a matter of the sadness and sorrow. And this term points out this. This term denotes this thing. This single word clearly bears. The feeling of respect that the Japanese people have towards the environment, and their firm determination to protect them. So the word R is written over here. This word denotes for the respect. So the Japanese people have a lot of respect, a lot of reverence and regard for the environmental values. Environmental values, it means the things that are presented in the environment. These are really very, very important for us. These are really very significant and essential part of the organism, and these are really very essential for our body, for our life, for the living beings. Fine. So that's why they give value to environmental things. That's why they give respect to them. And at the time when you respect to something, anyone or someone, so you just try to protect that thing. Whenever you give respect to something, so because of that, because of respecting that thing, because of giving respect to that thing, you started protecting that thing, you started selling that thing because you think that the thing is very precious for you, because you think that is very valuable for you. So that is why Japanese people have the idea into his mind, and they are using this philosophy that environmental values are very respecting thing for them. They really had a great value for them. So they always tried their best to protect the environmental values like greenery, trees, and all the natural things like just like rivers, water, lakes, and green trees. They always try to plant more and more green trees so that the atmosphere of the environment will be balanced, because it will be according to our lifestyle, it will be according to our day-to-day life. So this is the thing that the Japanese people have in their life. And overall, Motanai believes in being thankful to Mother Nature for everything that we get, and because they have a respect type of feeling for environment. That's why they have a lot of respect to their Mother Nature, because nature is like a god, and they respect the mother of nature for everything and for all the things that they have got in their life. They just want to be grateful to them, they just want to be obliged to them, they just want to be thankful for all these things that they have got in our day-to-day life, because they know that thing that these are very important and essential for them. So that is why they always try their best to protect them, they always try their best to save them, which this shows around us and not wasting anything. So we must respect them. We should respect them. We should not waste them, because this is the resource. This is the source of our life. This is the source of our living. This is the source of taking breath properly. These are the sources. Fine. So we should not waste them at all. We should not waste them at all. We should try to reduce these things as much as possible, as much as we can. The thing that we are into our hand, we just try to do those things at their level best. Fine. Therefore, it's a prime responsibility of each of us to maintain absolute cleanliness around us, which includes not only our immediate surrounding but also the other area around us. So therefore, it's a suggestion for us, it's a message for us, it's a humble request for us in respecting the term Motanai, that is the Japanese term. So through this chapter, he just wanted to explaining on the notion that we should always try to have a prime. It's a best part of our responsibility that each of us, every one of us, has to maintain absolute cleanliness. We should always try to make our environment clean. We should not throw any paper or any wastage things here and there like this around us, which includes not only our immediate surrounding, because around us the thing that are around us, that is your surroundings. So if we don't do these things in our surroundings but also area around us, so if we also do these things in our surroundings, so our atmosphere will be good, we will take a pleasant and fragrant breath like this. So student, you are seeing that we should always try to keep our surrounding clean. This is our duty, and this is our best part of our life. This is the part of our life. If we are doing these things, so our area will be nice, our area will be pleasant, and it will be free from all the polluted things. Fine. Motanai is basically recognized as the Japanese terms for the four Rs. So it is basically a Japanese philosophy, Japanese term, and it points out, it denotes the 4R: reduce, reuse, recycle, and respect. These are 4 in number. Motonai attempts to communicate the important value nothing and encourage using object fully or all the way to the end of their lifespan. So here Japanese, Motonai means the different type of the opinion and idea in which you start giving value to everything like this. You have to encourage other person. You have to encourage other person to use the object as much as they can and all the way to the end of their lifespan. It means you have to use the things as much as you can till that person or that thing has a single particle of life. It means to say जब तक उसमें कुछ particle है life, at that time you have to use that thing till the last particle of that thing. You have to use it, last particle तक आपको use करना है, because something is remain there. You have to use it, you have to reduce, you have to reuse, you have to recycle, and you have to respect all those things. Leave no grain of rice in your bowl. No grain of, it means grain, don't leave not a single grain of rice in your bowl. If a toy break, repair it. If toy is broken, you have to repair it again. You have to repair it again, sort garbage before throwing it away, and take good care of everything. So whenever you are going to throw your garbage into the dustbin, so you have to short some good thing for you, because many of the things that we throw without thinking anything. So you have to keep the thing into your mind in order to win the fight against pollution and regain a cleaner and greener environment. A singular spirit of Motonai must become a part of every Indian's life. So if we want to save ourselves from the pollution, if we want to make our environment clean and green, so we have to adopt this term, this Japanese term Motonai, in our day-to-day life, so that the similar spirit that the Japanese people have, the spirit of Motonai, in the same way we will have the similar spirit, so that we can save our environment, and we should take it as a part of our life. So students, I hope so that you have got this term very well. We will continue this chapter in our next class. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.
Hello student, welcome to Shivaji Group of Institution online classes. Student, in previous class we have completed the theoretical part of chapter 3rd. Now today we will discuss its exercise 3.1. So we will start with filling the blanks. Now first point is the object which does work dash energy. Student, as you know that when any person or object does any kind of work, it will use energy for doing it. So we can say the object which does work loses energy. Now second point is the object on which work is done dash energy. Student, when a work is done over any object, then it will gain energy. So we can say the object on which work is done gain energy. Now third point is a boy carrying a heavy school bag and standing still does dash work. Student, as you know that without displacement no work is considered, and in this case boy is standing still on one place. So there is no displacement. So work is not done. So we can say a boy carrying a heavy school bag and standing still does no work. Now fourth point, the work done by a body is the product of force and dash. Student, as you know that the formula of work done is the product of force and displacement. So the correct answer, displacement. Now fifth point, dash is the old unit of work. Student, what is the old unit of work? Calorie is the old unit of work, and in SI system the unit of work is joule. Now true or false? First statement is an old unit of energy is calorie. This statement is true. Student, as you know that an old unit of energy is calorie. Now second statement, the product of force and the displacement caused by it is called power. This statement is false. Because the product of force and the displacement caused by it is called work. Now third statement is a student preparing his lessons for monthly test, thus mental work. This statement is true. Now fourth statement, a boy carrying a school bag on his shoulder does work. This statement is false. Because there is no displacement. So this statement is false. Now fifth statement is if the displacement caused by a force is at right angles to the direction of applied force, the work done is 0. This statement is also true. Now making correct statement. First statement is work is done when you hold a heavy suitcase in your hand. Student, this statement is incorrect. Now correct statement will be work is not done when you hold a heavy suitcase. Heavy suitcase in your hand. Now second statement is work is done when a force causes displacement at right angles to its own direction. Student, this statement is also incorrect. The correct statement will be work is not done when a force causes displacement at right angles to its own direction. Now third statement is work done by a body is the product of power and displacement. Student, this statement is incorrect because work done by a body is the product of force and displacement. So the correct statement will be work done by a body is the product of force and displacement. Now fourth statement is a teacher taking a class while standing does work. Yes, she is doing mental work. So the correct statement will be a teacher taking a class while standing does work. She is doing mental work. Now fifth statement, the SI unit of work or energy is calorie. No, this statement is incorrect because the SI unit of work or energy is joule. So the correct statement will be the SI unit of work or energy is joule. Now tick the correct option. First is the ability to do work is called energy. The correct option is C, which is energy. Now second statement, the work done by a body is the product of displacement and force. The correct option is C, force. Third statement is an old unit of energy is calorie. The correct option is C. Now fourth statement is 50 joules work is done when a force F causes a displacement of 10 meter. The magnitude of force is, student, as you know that work done equal to force into displacement, or we can write force equal to work done divided by displacement. Student, in this question work done is 50 joule and displacement is 10 meter. After dividing we get 5 Newton. So the force is 5 Newton. So the correct option is B, 5 Newton. Now fifth statement is when is the work done in the following situation. The correct option is a stone falling freely and a boy climbing up the stairs. So the correct option C and D. Now student, match the following. So first one is force into displacement is called work. Now second statement is the ability to do work is called energy. Now third statement, an old unit of energy is called calorie. Fourth statement, displacement caused by a force in its own direction is called work done. Today's class is over. Thank you.
Good morning students, welcome to the online classes of Shivaji Group of Institution. Today we will continue our chapter Elements, Compound and Mixture. In this chapter we have earlier discussed the information related to the formula of the compound, है ना। आज हम बात करेंगे कि कुछ कॉमन कंपाउंड्स के फॉर्मूले के बारे में, ठीक है, और उससे रिलेटेड जो इंफॉर्मेशन थी वो तो हम आपको पहले बता चुके थे, ये चीजें तो आपने बतानी है, ठीक है। सबसे पहला कंपाउंड देखो बेटा, क्या है, हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड। हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड फॉर्मूला क्या है, HCl और यू कैन से हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड, ठीक है ना। सो हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड इज HCl क्योंकि इसमें हाइड्रोजन है और क्लोरीन है। उसके बाद देखो सोडियम क्लोराइड, सोडियम क्लोराइड जिसको आप कहते हैं कॉमन सॉल्ट, है ना। इसके बारे में मैं पहले भी बता चुकी हूँ। कॉमन सॉल्ट क्या है, आपका जो भी खाने की चीजें हैं उसमें यूज होता है, पिकल्स वगैरह में एज अ प्रिजर्वेटिव यूज किया जाता है, ठीक है। तो इट इज ऑल्सो अ केमिकल। सो इसका फॉर्मूला है, सोडियम की वजह से इसका Na आया और क्लोरीन की वजह से इसमें क्लोराइड, ठीक है। तो NaCl इसका हो गया। उसके बाद देखो बेटा ये सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड है, ये थोड़ा ट्रिकी है, इस पे आपको कोई हिंट नहीं मिल पाएगा, तो इसको आपको ऐसे ही याद करना पड़ेगा। सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड का फॉर्मूला होता है H2SO4। और हाँ एक चीज और, ये जितनी भी चीजें हम नीचे ऊपर जो जैसे भी बना रहे हैं ना, इसको एज इट इज आपको बनाना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो आपका केमिकल फॉर्मूला क्या हो जाएगा, गलत हो जाएगा। देखिए कैसे गलत हो सकता है, अगर आपने H ऐसे बनाया, 2 इसी के बराबर बना दिया, SO और 4 ऐसे बना दिया, तो ये फॉर्मूला आपका क्या हो जाएगा, गलत हो जाएगा। सही कौन सा है, ये वाला। क्यों, क्योंकि जो चीज केमिकल फॉर्मूला में एक बात बहुत ध्यान रखने वाली है कि जो चीज जिस तरह से बनी होती है ना, उसको आपने एज इट इज देखनी होती है, ठीक है। तो ये आपकी चीज गलत हो जाएगी और यही वाला फॉर्मूला आपका सही है, ठीक है। उसके बाद देखो नाइट्रिक एसिड, इसको भी बेटा याद ही करना पड़ेगा क्योंकि इससे कोई आपको हिंट नहीं मिल रहा है। इसका फॉर्मूला है HNO3 एसिड है ये, HNO3। सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड H2SO4 और नाइट्रिक एसिड HNO3, ठीक है। उसके बाद देखो सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट, बाइकार्बोनेट कहिए या आप हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट कहिए। देखिए सोडियम तो Na हो गया और बाई या हाइड्रोजन दोनों सेम है, बाइकार्बोनेट कहोगे तो भी H लगाएंगे और हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट कहोगे तो भी हम H लगा देंगे। तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, सोडियम हाइड्रोजन और कार्बोनेट का तो CO3 होता है, ठीक है ना। तो ये हो गया सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट। बात समझ में आ रही है मेरी, क्या हो गया ये, सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट। इसी तरीके से हम कह सकते हैं पोटेशियम कार्बोनेट का ये आगे बताएंगे कि यहाँ पर 3 आया है तो क्यों आया है और वहां पर नहीं आया है तो क्यों नहीं आया है। ठीक है ना, अभी ऐसे ही पढ़ो, वैलेंसी पर डिपेंड करता है बेटा एक्चुअली। इसके बाद देखो सिल्वर नाइट्रेट। नाइट्रेट एक्चुअली क्या होता है, NO3। नाइट्रेट इज एक्चुअली NO3। अब इसके साथ अगर सिल्वर लग गया है बच्चे तो देखो सिल्वर यानी कि Ag और नाइट्रेट की वजह से क्या है ये NO3, इसका नाम हो जाएगा AgNO3। इसके बाद देखो पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट, तो पोटेशियम यानी कि मेटल आपकी चेंज हो गई, Ag की जगह क्या लिख देंगे KNO3। बात समझ में आ रही है? तो यहाँ देखिए आपको बहुत सारी चीजें एकदम कॉमन मिल रही है। जैसे कि आप देखो, ये तो आपकी देखो बेटा मेन टेबल है, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे जो चीजें हमने समझाई थी वो आपके समझने के लिए है, ठीक है। तो इसको एक बार और क्विक रिवीजन देख लेते हैं। हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड HCl, सोडियम क्लोराइड NaCl, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड याद करनी पड़ेगी H2SO4, नाइट्रिक एसिड HNO3, सोडियम बाइकार्बोनेट और यू कैन से सोडियम हाइड्रोजन कार्बोनेट NaHCO3, सोडियम कार्बोनेट Na2CO3, कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट CaCO3, कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड CaO, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड NaOH। हाँ, NaOH यानी कि सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड। अगर आपसे क्या पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड तो सोडियम की जगह क्या आ जाएगा, पोटेशियम हो गया और हाइड्रोक्साइड ये। अगर आपसे कहे कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड तो कैल्शियम की जगह Ca और हाइड्रोक्साइड ये ऐसे, ठीक है ना, OH का होल चॉइस। तो इस तरीके से होता है, ये हो गया कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड CaO, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड NaOH, फेरस सल्फाइड या आयरन सल्फाइड FeS हो गया, कॉपर सल्फेट CuSO4, एल्यूमिनियम क्लोराइड AlCl3, सिल्वर नाइट्रेट AgNO3 और पोटेशियम नाइट्रेट KNO3। तो ये थे कुछ कॉमन कंपाउंड्स के फॉर्मूले जिनके हमने आपको अच्छे से बता दिए हैं। आई होप ये समझ में आ गया होगा। इसकी जितनी आप प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतना आपके लिए अच्छा है, आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल, ठीक है। तो आज की इस क्लास में इतना ही, मिलते हैं अपनी क्लास में, तब तक के लिए गुड बाय।
Hello class, welcome to you Shivaji Group of Institutions online classes students. Today I will discuss about chapter 4, that is Sultanate. Understand? Delhi Sultanate is the time period of the Mughal period. This period is also known as the this period is divided into many dynasties. Now students, first we discuss about chapter. We want to say some motivational slide to us, to you, that all of us have equal. Sorry, all of us don't have equal talent. माने हम सब के पास क्या होते हैं लाइफ में इक्वल टैलेंट नहीं होते हैं, बट वी हैव ऑल इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज टू डेवलप अवर टैलेंट। अंडरस्टैंड? बट हम सब के पास अपने टैलेंट को डेवलप करने के लिए अपॉर्चुनिटीज होती हैं। अंडरस्टैंड? फर्स्ट वी डिस्कस अबाउट चैप्टर दिल्ली सल्तनत। दिल्ली सल्तनत is the time period, यानी this period is formed, यानी this period is time period is CE 1262 CE 1526, यानी this period is 12 यानी 1206 से 1526 तक था, is known as the Sultanate period, यानी time period of 1226 to 1526 is also known as the Sultanate period. Understand? The Sultanate period was यानी सल्तनत पीरियड एम्पायर, यानी सल्तनत पीरियड के एम्पायर्स पर स्क्रैच्ड ओवर लार्ज पार्ट ऑफ इंडियन सब कंटिनेंट फॉर 320 years, यानी in 320 years the सल्तनत एम्पायर्स यानी सल्तनत एम्पायर्स was scratched over all over the India. Understand? They were यानी during this period India was ruled by a number of Turkish sultanate in India, यानी in this period यानी 1206 to 1526
many rulers यानी many rulers ruled in India. They were Turkish, माने they were Turkish सल्तनत who belonged, जो belong करते थे, माने who were belong Alberi Turkish clan. They were belong यानी they were belong Alberi Turkish clan. Understand? And the Delhi Sultanate यानी Delhi Sultanate divided into 5 dynasties. The Sultanate periods were, माने Delhi Sultanate divided into 5 dynasties in that time between 1206 to 1526. These dynasties were the first Slav dynasty. यानी Slav dynasty's time period is CE 1206 to 1290. The Slav dynasty का time period जो था वो CE माने common era 15 यानी 1206 से 1290 तक था. Understand? Second dynasty is also called Khilji dynasty. यानी Khilji dynasty is the time period is CE यानी common era 1290 to 1320. Understand? यानी second dynasty is Khilji dynasty. Its time period is 1290 to 1320. Understand? Third is Tughlaq dynasty. Tughlaq dynasty is third dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate. Its time period is CE 1320 to 1414. Understand? 1320 to 1440. Understand? So next, the fourth dynasty is also known as the Sayyid dynasty. Sayyid dynasty time period is 1414 to 1451. यानी Sayyid dynasty is time period is 1414 to 1451. Understand? 5. Next, the Lodi dynasty. Lodi dynasty is the time period is 1451 to 1526. So thus we say that the Delhi Sultanate time is CE यानी common era 1206 to 1526, which divided in 4 dynasties. यानी 4 dynasties is this. Okay. Now we discuss first Slav dynasty. Slav dynasty is the first dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate, and the ruler ruled in Slav dynasty 1206 to 1590. यानी the first Slav dynasty ruler ruled 1206 to 1290. Understand? The Slav dynasty यानी the Slav dynasty is also called the Mamluk dynasty. Slav dynasty they called the Mamluk, and Mamluk words comes from the Arabic word. बड़े Mamluk शब्द जो है वो अरबिक भाषा से लिया गया है, which means Slav, माने जिसका मतलब होता है Slav. Understand? So Iltutmish and Balban were two emperors, माने two rulers. माने in Slav dynasty Iltutmish and Balban were two rulers, which they were essentially Slav of Qutbuddin Aibak. Understand? यानी Balban and Iltutmish were the Slav of Qutbuddin Aibak, and Qutbuddin Aibak is himself, यानी Qutbuddin Aibak himself the Slav of Ghori. Understand? So this period is also called the Slav dynasty. Understand, students? Slav dynasty is the first ruler of Qutbuddin Aibak. So now we first discuss Qutbuddin Aibak. Class, मैं आपको सबसे पहले I have discussed too about the first Slav dynasty, and Slav dynasty is the first ruler of Qutbuddin Aibak. Understand? Qutbuddin Aibak is the first ruler of Slav dynasty. His time period is 1206 to 1210. Understand? 1206 to 1210. Understand? The founder of the Slav dynasty, meaning the Qutbuddin Aibak, is also known as the founder of Slav dynasty. And Qutbuddin Aibak is also known as the founder of Slav dynasty. He began his career as the Slav of Ghori. मैंने he began मैंने इसने अपना कैरियर जो है started his career was slab of Muhammad Ghori and rose a position of a journal by his own merit मैंने according to his own merit he rose a position मैंने उसने अपनी पोजीशन को इतना अधिक इंक्रीज किया था कि of a journal by our own merits. So Ghori appointed him as the governor of his Indian conquest after Indian conquest यानी after seeing this merit after seeing his merit Ghori was attracted to Qutbuddin Aibak and he appointed him as the governor of Indian conquest माने इसलिए गोरी ने उसे इंडियन कंक्वेस्ट माने इंडियन की यानी भारत की जीत पर उसे गवर्नर अपॉइंट किया था अंडरस्टैंड आफ्टर द गोरीज डेथ Aibak became the ruler of his Indian possession after the death of Goris माने गोरी की मृत्यु के बाद माने after the गोरीज डेथ गोरी की मृत्यु के बाद Aibak became the ruler of his Indian possession माने वह इंडियन पोजीशन का रूलर बन गया था अंडरस्टैंड Qutbuddin Aibak also made himself popular by denoting generously both Hindu and Muslims and was called the Luck-Bucks माने इसलिए उसे Luck-Bucks कहा जाता था understand माने he was owned himself माने he was himself popular by denoting the generously Hindu and Muslims so he was called the Luck-Bucks and giver of lakhs माने क्योंकि वह giver of lakhs माने लाखों देता था so that time he is also called the Luck-Bucks understand he started the construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi माने he started construction माने इसने start किया था construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi and in that time in CE 1210 माने common era 1210 में he died as a result of fall down his horse while he was playing a chaugan माने चौगान खेलते समय he was falling from his horse माने वो अपने horse से गिर गया था and he was died this chaugan is also called the Indian polo माने चौगान को Indian polo के नाम से भी जानते हैं understand so this was the end of Qutbuddin Aibak the founder of Slav dynasty he began his career as a slave of Ghori and he was a true Slav and he was the true followers of the Ghoris so he rose the position in the Ghori's heart so Ghori appointed the governor of Indian conquest and he was after the death of Ghori he became the ruler of his Indian possession understand and in this time he made himself the popular by denoting the generously both of Hindu and Muslim and was called the Luck-Bucks understand and he died in 1210 as a result of fall down from his horse while he was playing Chaugan Indian polo. Now students, today I have discussed Delhi Sultanate and following dynasties of the Delhi Sultanate and first ruler Qutbuddin Aibak and after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak his son Aram Shah माने Qutbuddin Aibak's son's name Aram Shah but he was very lazy and very weak ruler so in that time Iltutmish was made the ruler of the India in that time after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak. In next video I will discuss about Iltutmish and his achievements. Thank you for attending this class.
स्वागतम। मैं रेणुलता पांडे, संस्कृत शिक्षिका, शिवाजी ग्रुप ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस। बच्चों, आज मैं स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ चैप्टर 5 जिसका टाइटल है उद्यानम। ठीक है, शीर्षक है उद्यानम। उद्यानम यानी बगीचा। ठीक है, तो इस चैप्टर में आप उद्यानम से जो संबंधित पंक्तियां हैं उनका हिंदी अर्थ पढ़ेंगे। हमेशा की तरह संकेत डालेंगे। मैंने संकेत दिया है एषा से लेकर के अस्ति तक। इसके आगे भी और पंक्तियां हैं। वसंती तक मैंने संकेत दिया है, एषा से लेकर के वसंती तक। ठीक है, और संकेत डालने के बाद आप संदर्भ जरूर लिखें। संदर्भ लिखने का तरीका मैं बता चुकी हूँ, पीडीएफ में मैंने डाला है। तो संकेत लिखें। प्रस्तुत पंक्तियां हमारी पाठ्य पुस्तक देवती के उद्यानम नामक पाठ से ली गई है। ठीक है, संकेत डालिए और फिर इन पंक्तियों का हिंदी अर्थ लिखिए। आपको ये संस्कृत पंक्तियां नहीं लिखनी है, सिर्फ संकेत डालना है और अर्थ लिखना है, हिंदी अर्थ। क्लियर? तो देखिए बच्चों, एषा का, एषा मीन्स कौन, यह है, सॉरी, एषा मीन्स यह है, कहा मीन्स कौन। ठीक है, एषा मालाकारा, एषा मीन्स यह, मालाकारा मीन्स माली है। यहाँ अस्ति क्रिया नहीं लिखी है, अंडरस्टूड है। ठीक है शब्द लिखे। एषा का यह कौन है, एषा मालाकारा यह माली है। मालाकारा कान सिंचती, माली किसे सींच रहा है या किन्हें सींच रहा है, बहुवचन में किन्हें सींच रहा है। मालाकारा पादपान सिंचती, माली पौधों को सींच, सॉरी, मालाकारा कान सिंचन, सिंचती शब्द है बच्चों। कंफ्यूज हो रही थी मैं कि यहाँ बहुवचन क्यों आ रहा है, सिंचती होगा, सिंचती एक वचन। ठीक है, सिंचती लिखेंगे तो बहुवचन हो जाएगा। तो ये कौन है, यह माली है। माली किन्हें सींच रहा है। मालाकारा पादपान सिंचती, माली पौधों को सींच रहा है। पादप मीन्स होता है पौधा, पादपान बहुवचन हो जाएगा। माली पौधों को सींच रहा है। पादपेषु कानि विकसन्ति, पौधों में क्या खिल रहे हैं, खिले हैं या खिल रहे हैं, दोनों सही है बच्चों। पौधों में क्या खिले हैं, पादपेषु पुष्पाणि विकसन्ति, पौधों में फूल खिले हैं। जलम कस्मात् निर्गच्छति, पानी कहां से निकल रहा है। निर्गच्छति निकल रहा है, पानी कस्मात् मीन्स कहां से, पानी या जल कहां से निकल रहा है। जलम पर्वतात् निर्गच्छति, जल पर्वत से निकल रहा है। जलम कुत पतति, जल कहां गिर रहा है, पतति गिर रहा है। जलम निर्झरे पतति, जल या पानी निर्झरे में झरने में, पतति में गिर रहा है, पानी झरने में गिर रहा है। जले काह तरंती, पानी में कौन तैर रही है। जले वर्तिकाह तरंती, पानी में बतख, बतखें हो जाएगा बहुवचन में। ठीक है, बतख एक वचन और बतखें बहुवचन। तो पानी में बतखें तैर रही हैं। एषा कस्य वृक्षास्ति, यह किसका पेड़ है। एषा आम्रस्य वृक्षास्ति, यह आम का पेड़ है। फिर से देखें, यह कौन है, यह माली है। माली किन्हें सींच रहा है, माली पौधों को सींच रहा है। पौधों में क्या खिल रहे हैं या खिले हैं, पौधों में फूल खिले हैं। पानी कहां से निकल रहा है, पानी पर्वत से या पहाड़ से निकल रहा है। पानी कहां गिर रहा है, पानी झरने में गिर रहा है। जल में कौन तैर रही है, जल में बतखें तैर रही हैं। यह किसका पेड़ है, यह आम का पेड़ है। ठीक है बच्चों, अभी इस संकेत में 4 पंक्तियां और हैं, उनका अर्थ भी देखें। इस संकेत में 4 पंक्तियां अभी शेष हैं, तो देखें। अमृत से बाद देखें, आम्रस्य फलानि कीदृशानि सन्ति। आम्रस्य फलानि मधुराणि सन्ति। मधुराणि मीन्स मीठे। मधुर मीन्स क्या होता है? मीठा। शुकः पुत्र वसन्ति। शुक मीन्स होता है तोता। शुकः पुत्र वसन्ति। शुकः आम्र वृक्षे वसन्ति। आम्र वृक्षे वसन्ति। ठीक है, लास्ट है, हाँ लास्ट नहीं बच्चों, बस यही तक आपका संकेत था। 3 ही लाइन सेंस बची थी। तो अब आगे देखें इन पंक्तियों का अर्थ। आम्रस्य फलानि कीदृशानि सन्ति। आम्रस्य फलानि कीदृशानि सन्ति। कीदृशानि मीन्स कैसे। आम के फल कैसे हैं। आम्रस्य फलानि मधुराणि सन्ति। आम के फल मीठे हैं। शुकः पुत्र वसन्ति। शुक मीन्स तोता, ये बहुवचन है तो तोते हो जाएगा। शुका यानी बहुवचन। शुकः पुत्र वसन्ति, तोते कहाँ रहते हैं। शुकाः आम्र वृक्षे वसन्ति, तोते आम के पेड़ पर रहते हैं। फिर से देखें, आम के फल कैसे हैं। आम के फल मीठे हैं। तोते कहाँ रहते हैं। तोते आम के पेड़ पर रहते हैं। ठीक है बच्चों, तो आप इन पंक्तियों का अर्थ पढ़ें और लिखें। मैं हमेशा बताती हूँ कि जब भी कोई नया चैप्टर स्टार्ट होता है उसका अर्थ आप पढ़ते हैं, उसके भी पहले आपको अपनी बुक में से जो शब्दार्थ लिखे हुए हैं वो आपको याद करने हैं। समझ में आया? याद कर लेंगे तो आपको इन पंक्तियों का अर्थ बहुत सुगमता से समझ में आएगा, बहुत आसानी से समझ में आएगा। समझ में आ रहा है? फिर कोई कठिनाई नहीं होगी इन पंक्तियों का अर्थ समझने में। और बच्चों, जैसे मैं आपको इन पंक्तियों का अर्थ बताती हूँ डिट्टो वैसे ही आपको लिखना है। क्यों? क्योंकि इन पंक्तियों का हिंदी अनुवाद करना होता है, अर्थ नहीं लिखना होता, हिंदी अनुवाद करना होता है। ठीक है, तो इस तरह से आप बहुत ध्यान से बात को सुने और समझें। ठीक है, और समय से अपना कार्य करते रहें। मैंने समय की महत्ता पिछले वीडियो में भी आपको बताई थी, इसलिए समय को व्यर्थ ना गंवाते हुए अपना कार्य टाइम टू टाइम करते रहें। धन्यवाद। आपका दिन मंगलमय हो। हाँ बच्चों, एक मिनट, एक बात मैं और कहना चाहूंगी कि कुछ बच्चे अभी भी नोटबुक में ये संस्कृत की पंक्तियों को लिख रहे हैं। ठीक है, आपको इन संस्कृत पंक्तियों को नोटबुक में नहीं उतारना, ये आपकी बुक से मैं आपको पढ़ा रही हूँ। मैं तो यहाँ सिर्फ इसलिए लिखती हूँ कि मैं उसका अर्थ आपको अच्छी तरह से समझा सकूं। ठीक है, तो कोई भी बच्चा अब इन संस्कृत पंक्तियों को अपनी नोटबुक में नहीं लिखेगा, सिर्फ आप संकेत डालेंगे। जैसे मैंने ये संकेत डाला है, संदर्भ लिखे, संकेत लिखे, ठीक है, अर्थ लिखे, लेकिन इन संस्कृत पंक्तियों को अपनी नोटबुक में ना उतारें। इस बात का आपको ध्यान रखना है। ठीक है, इसलिए मैं फिर से आपको बताने के लिए आई हूँ, इस बात का ध्यान रखना। ठीक है, और लेखन कार्य बहुत ही सुंदर और स्वच्छ रखिए, क्योंकि जब आपकी नोटबुक हम लोगों के पास आती है ना, अगर बच्चे ने बहुत अच्छा वर्क किया होता है तो हम लोग भी खुश हो जाते हैं कि वाह क्या कॉपी है। ठीक है, तो उसका बहुत अच्छा असर पड़ता है। और जिस बच्चे की कॉपी अच्छी नहीं होती, लेखन कार्य बहुत गंदा होता है, तो कॉपी चेक करने के पहले ही हम लोग का मन खराब हो जाता है। तो ये आपका प्लस पॉइंट होना चाहिए कि आप पढ़ रहे हैं, पढ़ने के साथ 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 अपना लेखन कार्य भी बहुत अच्छा करते चले। ठीक है, तो फिर से एक बार आपको